Okay, so right now I am in the process of getting everything set up and ready to go. First, I need to check the audio out, make sure that everything's going the way it's supposed to be going. All right, everything looks or sounds good on Beam. I have that up and ready to go. Now I'm going to go check my audio out on Rumble. And we got this going. Okay, so audio sounds good. X is doing the little loading wheel again. Hit refresh. And it's working fine. DLive is up. DLive looks good. Okay, so now we go to Twitch. Let's see what Twitch sounds good. And also Kick is up. Kick sounds good. YouTube. Okay, YouTube sounds good as well. So everything is up and ready to go. It's pretty interesting how this is because it's actually quicker. I'm really surprised by that. Yeah. So with that being said, I'm going to go and do my customary music thing. I'm actually trying to get my talking points straightened out, figure out where I need to be at so that I can be ready for when I start the episode. So give me a second. And then after that, I'm also going to, here we go. Okay, so after this, I'm going to start the music, get that going. Today is about ancient mysteries. So we're going to get into some things concerning ancient history and the folklore and the myths that started thousands and thousands of years ago. Also, this is going to be discussing some Indo-European and Indo-Aryan linguistics and comparing them to different languages during the era. So it's pretty good stuff if you're into that kind of stuff. So stick around if you want to hear some more, and I will be back here in a little bit. So let me find my music on here. They changed a lot of stuff around on me with this stuff, so I'm having to learn it all again. It seems. Um, I'm, I'm, I'm learning. I'm learning. Okay. Let me see.
When the stars that dim and quake lies a secret path none dare to take.
Actually, I probably should step in here and say something. Well, we have 10 more minutes before the show starts. I put that in for, some sound fillers while I was gone. And what I'm going to do is I am going to do some more music for a little while. Get some coffee down me, start getting everything set up and ready to go. I want to add some audio in that I had also just recently gotten. Me and Mr. Robot off of Mind's Chat and Elements, mostly off of Elements now, have been working on Mr. Robot and the Men from Mars. And he comes up with some interesting stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and share one of his songs for you that he put together and see how you guys like it. So here you go. Let me first get it uploaded and we'll see what you guys think of it. And that's what I'm wanting to do with all my shows too, so that you guys know I'm wanting to put songs in so that you guys can enjoy some of the stuff that me and a few other people have been working together on. Besides doing the shows, you know what I mean? Plus, it's good to listen to some music and stuff. So, here we go.
War pigs gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, the sorcerers of death's construction. In the fields, the bodies burning as the war machine keeps turning. They bring death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh Lord, yeah. Leaders gathered in their chambers, deals struck in shadowed whispers. Evil hands that draw the borders, blood for oil, the world disorder. In the streets, the children crying as the bombs keep falling, flying. Death and silence claim the land, genocide by ruthless hand. Oh Lord, yeah. Politicians hide behind their walls, they only profit from the war. Why should they care who lives or dies? They leave the suffering to the poor. Yeah, yeah. Time will tell on their hollow lies, stealing lives for a barrel of gold, treating nations as their chessboard. Wait till their judgment takes hold. Yeah. Where dreams were yearning, no more lies can hide the slaughter. Bloodstained hands on holy water. Day of reckoning, truth is calling. On their knees, the guilty fallen, begging mercy for their crimes. History judges through the times. Oh Lord, yeah. Blowback echoes, fires raging. Terror blooms from seeds they're planting. Cities scream, the home front bleeding. War machine still feeds unyielding. No matter who sits on the throne, the gears of death grind on alone. Empire's hunger knows no end. Our lives just fuel to spend. Flags may change, the lies stay constant. Promises fade, the war stays honest. They sell us fear, they sell us hate, while they carve up another state. The cycle spins, the wheel keeps turning. Hearts keep breaking, cities burning. When will we break their deadly game? Or will we
Okay, so now we have that done. Let me see for there's another one that he made that I want to put on here too. It's called Fields of Forever. So here you go.
I'm glad mushrooms are against the law, 'cause I took them once and I saw it all. A field of green, the sky so wide. I laid there laughing, my heart open wide. My God, I love everything, I cried. But the world's not built for a love so wide. Oh, wide. We're all just passing through. From the cradle to the grave, it's true. So why do we build these walls so high when we're all just stardust, destined to die? We all pay for life with death, so everything in between should be free. No chains, no weight, just a single breath in this field of forever. We're wild and we're free. I saw the threads that weave us tight, the day and the dark, the wrong and the right. But the world don't care for a heart unbound. It'll tie you down, it'll spin you round. Still I dream of that field, that endless green, where the walls fall down and the air is clean. We're all just passing through. From the cradle to the grave, it's true. So why do we build these walls so high when we're all just stardust, destined to die? We all pay for life with death, so everything in between should be free. No chains, no weight, just a single breath in this field of forever. We're wild and we're free. All the mushrooms show me the truth so clear, but the world don't want you to see it here. They'll sell you fear, they'll sell you time, but love's the only thing that's truly mine. So I'll dream of that field, that endless green, where the walls fall down and the air is clean. We all pay for life with death, it's true, but in between I'll be here with you in this field of forever. We're wild and we're free. In this field of forever, we're wild and we're free.
Okay, so that would bring us up to the hour. Now we are starting the episode, and I think that this is the time where I start talking about ancient history. What do you guys think? Or ancient mysteries, not just ancient history, but ancient mysteries. If you guys are here, I appreciate you for showing up. I also appreciate Jay off of Beam for following me. I appreciate that too. Thank you for that. Also, thanks for people who are on Rumble watching right now. I do appreciate that as well. There's 3 on X who are watching at the moment. Thank you. I also want to thank Jade44 off of DLive. She started following me as well. And 1 viewer on Twitch who is following, as well as 1 viewer on Kick, who is watching. Twitch is watching, not following. But hopefully that'll change if I stop running my mouth and get into the topic. So, with that, on this episode, I am wanting to start from where we left off. Now, the last thing I was talking about was Seditas and Astarte and Ahia and Dione. Now, these were goddesses during the time of the Phoenicians and the Canaanites, as well as the Babylonians who were worshipped. Now, if you have ever heard the word Astarte, that is the Canaanite and the Phoenician equivalents of Ishtar, who before she was Ishtar was also Inanna, according to the Babylonians and the Sumerians. So you guys know. And that's what we were discussing when I had last left off. Now, in my previous older episodes that I did with Karma, I want to point something out too, and that's on the Praetorian. It's called Ancient History. If you guys are interested in checking that out, it's my other channel called the Praetorian. But we had a pretty interesting conversation at this point. Like I said, it wasn't really on topic like it was intended to be, but it did go into some interesting conversation that we had. So if you guys are interested in hearing that, just remember, the Praetorian, and the playlist is called Ancient History. So it's in there somewhere. What it was is this year I wanted to kind of go over some of the information we had done and do a little bit more of an interpretation. It was like today, Mark Edworthy said he wanted to come in and be a part of the show, but he canceled in the last second. And I was like, yeah, I'm okay with it, because to be honest, I think that I enjoy doing this solo rather than having somebody else with me, because I can stay focused and actually get the topics out. It might not be as glamorous and as exciting as what it could be, but it's what I really am into. I'm into ancient history and the lore and the myths and all of it, and how it all intertwines with one another. So I enjoy doing this. This is a big part of what I'm about, you know what I mean? So now that we covered that topic, this week I want to start out with Imermene. And Imermene is a figure from ancient Greek philosophy and mythology. Now, her presence in mythological texts aren't as well documented or as widespread as other deities or figures, but she is mostly notable, or she's notably connected with the concept of fate or necessity, which plays a key role in Greek thought, particularly in relationship to philosophical ideas or moral responsibilities, and the predetermined course of events that were taking place at the time. Imermene was often interpreted as a personification of fate or destiny, like an abstract force that governs the events of the universe and the lives of, all individuals, basically. Now, in Greek mythology, the concept of fate is not a single entity, but rather a system of cosmical laws, often depicted as a power that even the gods must respect. In some philosophical texts, Imermene is referred to as the embodiment of this concept. Now, the term Imermene is often associated with Ananke, the goddess of necessity, who is a primordial figure representing the unyielding and inevitable forces that shape the universe. Eimermain's connection to necessity and fate aligns with the idea that all events in the cosmos are predestined and must unfold according to the predetermined order, to a predetermined order. Now, this view is deeply tied to ancient Greek ideas about cosmic order and the limits placed on human agency. Eimermain appears more clearly in Stoic philosophy, where fate is viewed as an unchangeable law of the universe. The Stoics believe that everything that happens is the result of divine reason, or logos. That's something that my buddy Jaffe likes to always talk about, the logos. And there's a lot of people who have an issue with the logos. And I've actually been coming up with something that I'm going to come out with here before long. I don't know exactly where I'm going to put it in my series or my video series, but it's going to pertain somewhat to the logos. It's something I've been working on now about the cosmic weave. That's what I refer to it as. And the logos has a lot of strong ties to that, where I think a lot of people overlook what the logos was actually about and what it really meant. So be expecting that here sometime in the future. With that, I'm going to start back where I was saying now. So the Stoics did believe that everything that happened was a result of divine reason, which is the logos, like I said, and that human beings must accept the natural order of events. Now, Eimermain, as a personification of fate, would represent this force that is both unchangeable and beyond human control, illustrating the Stoic concept of accepting one's fate with grace and understanding. Although she is not as prominent as figures like the Moirai, the Fates, Eimermain has been associated with them in some ancient texts. The Moirai are often described as three sisters who spin, measure, and cut the threads of life, each one responsible for different aspects of fate. In some traditions, Eimermain could be considered a more abstract or philosophical extension of the power that the Moirai represent. As a personification of fate, Eimermain represents the idea that everything that occurs in the universe happens for a reason, and it follows a fixed course. This concept is central in Greek philosophy and ethics, where human beings are urged to live in harmony with the natural order rather than trying to resist it. Now, Eimermain's symbolism also ties into the broader Greek understanding of the universe as a rational, ordered system. Just as the cosmos operates according to the laws of nature, so too do individual lives unfold according to the predetermined set of circumstances that are part of a greater divine plan. While Eimermain does not have the widespread recognition of figures like Zeus, Apollo, or the Moirai, her concept of fate has had a lasting influence on philosophical thought. The Greek understanding of fate has been passed down through Western philosophy, particularly in discussions about about free will, determinism, and the nature of existence. In later Western traditions, the influence of figures like Eimermain can be seen in discussions about divine providence and the tension between human free will and divine control. Now, that is something that a lot of people actually do have conversations even today about. So, this is where it all culminates from. This is where it started from. And I've been in a lot of different conversations where people discuss topics like this, and they also discuss, vibrations, and they also discuss uh, a lot of other aspects, which at the moment I can't come to mind. But this is where it all culminates: predetermination or free will. Um, and there's people who are just really, really hard set on their beliefs. They believe you're either all or nothing. It's either all free will or it's all predetermination. It can't be both. And I don't follow that ideology. I believe that it's a little bit of both. You know what I mean? Because we live in a world where we have to live together. Individuals have to live among one another. Okay, so I don't have like 100% free will. My fate is determined to some respect because of the fact that I have to communicate and be a part of a community and do things with other people. Um, so, with that aspect, there's no free will there. You know what I mean? And those are things that people, oh, that's just not what we're talking about. Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about. It's just you're not comprehending that. You can't run around throughout your entire life thinking that everything is about free will. That's why a lot of people get themselves into situations where um, they regret it because they think that their it's their way or the highway. You know what I mean? It's gonna be their way. They don't know what the word compromise means, and this is the concepts right here that 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 you have to look at. The concept of fate. If I act that way and I end up getting in trouble with the law, then fate has it that the law is going to treat me in a certain way that's been predetermined before I committed the crime. You know what I mean? So those are those are things that you have to think of. So the concept of fate, as embodied by Ibermein, is echoed in various forms of both Christian theology with the idea of God's will, and in the works of philosophers such as Arthur Schopenhauer, Baruch Spinoza, and Friedrich Nietzsche. Now, Ibermein represents a key philosophical and mythological concept of fate or necessity in ancient Greek thought. Her association with the Moirai and her representation of the inescapable laws of the cosmos provide valuable insight into the ancient Greek beliefs about destiny, order, and human existence. Through her, the ancient Greeks explored themes of acceptance, submission to divine will, and the interplay between free will and predestination. And that was what I was getting into too. And themes like acceptance and submission, those are things that people really don't like. Like, I've actually had to deal with the words acceptance and submission, which submission is got different, like surrender. A lot of people don't understand what the concept of surrendering to win means. Sometimes you have to let go. You have to surrender. Acceptance. Um, the the acceptance prayer is a good example. Jeffy loves to say that on the pirate show all the time, and it says, "God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference." And there's an actual philosophy that goes behind that, to accept the things I cannot change. The things I can't change, I need to accept that. If there's something going on in my life that I know I don't have power over and I can't freaking change, I should accept the fact that I can't change it. But then I have to have the courage to accept the things or to change the things I can. So even though I can't change this over here, I can change this. So I have to have courage and change that part of my life. But even though freaking I can change this and I can't change that, I have to know, I have to have the wisdom to understand what it is I can change and what it is I can't change. Okay? And all of that is what this whole topic right here is about. It's about submission to divine will and the interplay between free will and predestination. Now, after that, I want to start talking about the Titanides. Now, the Titanides or the Titanesis and Archimedes are two distinct concepts from Greek mythology, both connected to powerful divine figures. Now, though they belong to different mythological categories, all right, the term Titanides refer to the female counterparts of the Titans. Now, the primordial deities who were the children of Uranus, the sky, and Gaia, the earth. Now, the Titans were the first generation of divine beings before the Olympian gods, and their reign was eventually overthrown by the Olympians, led by Zeus. The Titanides are the female Titans, and their roles vary depending on the source of the myth. Now, like the male Titans, the Titanides are part of the earliest generation of deities in Greek mythology. They are powerful and represent fundamental forces of the cosmos, often associated with natural phenomenon or abstract concepts. Now, while the male titans such as Kronos, Oceanus, and Hyperion are more prominent in the myths, the Titanides also played significant roles. Some were married to their male counterparts, such as Rhea. She was the wife of Kronos, while others were independent, like Themis, the Titaness of divine law and order. Now, Rhea was the mother of Zeus, Hera, Poseidon, and others, and she played a central role in the mythology surrounding the Titanomachy, the war between the Titans and the Olympians. Then there was Themis. She was the Titaness of justice, law, and order. She was a personification of divine law and often was depicted holding scales or a sword. So the scales is one thing that you should actually recognize, especially if you're here in the United States, especially when it comes to the justice system and stuff like that. Then you had Mnemosyne, and she was the Titaness of memory and the mother of the Muses, the goddess of arts. Then you had Typhus. She was the wife of Oceanus and the mother of many river gods and ocean nymphs. Now, this one I always call Phoebe, and I know that it's wrong, but it's Phoebe. I always call it Phoebe. So if you hear me say Phoebe, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Phoebe. And I don't know why I do it, but I've always done this. And this is coming from a guy who used to watch Charmed, okay, because I like the chicks in freaking sexy dresses and stuff. So just so you know, it's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But anyhow, Phoebe was the Titaness of the moon, who later became associated with the prophetic powers of her daughter, Leto. Now, Eurynomé, she was another one. She was often depicted as the goddess of all things that are and the mother of the Charitites, or the Graces. Now, during the Titanomachy, a 10-year war between the Olympian gods, led by Zeus, and the Titans, the Olympians emerged victorious. Most of the male Titans were cast into the Tartarus, which is a deep, gloomy part of the underworld, while the Titanids' fate varied. Some, like Rhea and Thamus, sided with the Olympians, while others were neutral or suffered the same fate as the male Titans. Now, the Titanids embody important concepts such as memory, justice, and order. And while they were part of the older generation of gods, their influence continued even after the Olympians took control. Many Titanids, particularly Rhea, were considered maternal figures, emphasizing fertility, creation, and the natural world. Now, Artemis is one of the 12 Olympian gods, daughter of Zeus and Leto, and the twin sister of Apollo. While she is not technically a Titaness, Artemis holds a significant place in Greek mythology and shares certain attributes with the Titanesses, such as her connection to nature and primal forces. Artemis is primarily known as the goddess of the hunt, wild animals, and the wilderness. She is often depicted with a bow and arrows, accompanied by a deer or hunting dogs. She is also associated with the moon, as she was sometimes considered the lunar counterpart of Apollo's solar aspects. Artemis was also a protector of women, especially during childbirth, and was seen as a fierce guardian of female purity. She often helped women in labor and was invoked for protection in difficult pregnancies. Artemis is famously a virgin goddess who chose to remain celibate and independent. As a goddess closely associated with the wilderness, Artemis was also seen as a protector of nature and animals. Her affinity with the natural world links her to some of the Titans, like Gaia, the earth goddess, and Tethys, the goddess of the ocean, who personified natural forces. Artemis was a central figure in many myths. One of the most famous myths surrounding her involves the Caledonian boar hunt, where she sent a monstrous boar to ravage the land of Caledon as punishment for the king's failure to honor her properly. She was also closely involved with the myth of Actaeon, a hunter who accidentally saw her bathing and was turned into a stag and killed by his own hunting dogs. Artemis was often worshipped in connection with fertility, healing, and protection, and her cults were widespread across ancient Greece, particularly in regions where nature and the wilderness played a key role in people's lives. The Titanids were the powerful female counterparts of the Titans, representing fundamental natural and cosmic forces in Greek mythology. Artemis, though not a Titaness, shares some thematic similarities with the Titanids, particularly in her connection to the natural world, primal forces, and her role as a protector of women. Both the Titanids and Artemis reflect the Greek understanding of divine power and the forces that shape the natural world, offering insight into how the ancient Greeks conceptualized the relationship between divine, nature, and human existence. Now, I want to go to another topic, and this is Zeus Eretrios. Okay, Eretrius. Erotrius. Yeah, there we go. Zeus Erotrius is a lesser known aspect of the Greek god Zeus, who is typically recognized as the king of the gods, ruler of the sky, and god of thunder. The epithet Erotrius comes from the Greek word erotrius, uh, meaning of the plow or agriculture. This aspect of Zeus highlights his connection to agricultural prosperity, especially in relationship to farming and the well-being of crops. As Zeus Erotrius, Zeus is seen as the protector of farming and harvests. The ancient Greeks believed that the success of crops was under his protection, as he could send rain and storms to nourish the earth, or conversely, withhold it. This aspect of Zeus was likely invoked in agricultural festivals and rituals aimed at ensuring good harvests. Farmers would pray to Zeus Erotrios to secure a fruitful season and to protect their crops from natural disasters like drought or flooding. This epithet of Zeus emphasizes the more practical, life-sustaining aspects of the god, showing how his influence extended not just over the heavens in human affairs, but also over the very earth that sustained life. Now, from that one, I want to discuss Asclepius. Now, Asclepius is the Greek god of medicine, healing, and physicians. Asclepius is the son of Apollo and the mortal Cronus. There's Coronis, not Chronos, Coronis. And you spell that with Coronis. And I have to spell sometimes because my reading out loud is horrible. Whenever I get into some of these words, a lot of them I mess it up. So that's why I go and I spell the words that I am doing. So just so you guys know. Now that's Coronis. Now Asclepius is widely revered as a god who could heal the sick and even raise the dead, and his cult was prominent in the ancient world, particularly in places like Epidaurus. Now Asclepius is the personification of healing and medicine. He is often depicted holding a staff with a serpent wrapped around it, a symbol that became the emblem of medicine, the rod of Asclepius. And in today's world, you see that all over the place, especially when it comes to the medical profession. You'll see the intertwining snakes with the rod. And I also find it odd that Asclepius was also considered the god who could heal the sick and even raise the dead. That really dives deep into the whole Christian aspect with Jesus, who could raise the dead. So that was something that really stuck out to me when it comes to this stuff. There is a lot of there's syncretism that takes place, and it's been taking place all through history, and you can see it if you take time to read and find all of this stuff out, where each religion has basically incorporated new aspects into itself. I was in a conversation here recently where somebody had said that they don't like the term New Age. Me personally, I don't like or dislike the term New Age when it comes to a lot of things, because I've sat and I've taken time to read historically about these things when it comes to religion and lore and legends and all of that. And especially here recently, I've been reading a lot of it, and it has to do with syncretism, where they would take aspects of an older pagan belief and they would incorporate it into their new religions. And they've been doing this since the beginning of time, you know. And I think that in today's world, especially, people have a hard time accepting that. They have a hard time expecting that. They have a hard time accepting the fact that a lot of their beliefs were incorporated into their religion from old pagan belief systems. And you see it everywhere. You see it with the Christmas tree. You know, I mean, what do you think the Christmas tree represents? Me and Mark Edworthy were talking about Santa Claus the other night with Sonia. You know, and I was saying that maybe we should have a episode about Santa Claus with Jaffe, because Jaffe loves Santa Claus. I mean, and that would be something to talk about, especially when it comes to the pagan beliefs that go into the story of Santa Claus, you know. So when I see that about Asclepius being able to heal the sick and even raise the dead, that brings me to the topic of Jesus raising the dead. That was one of his miracles, you know. And then it goes on to talk about, you know, the rod of Asclepius being two snakes intertwined around his rod. And like I said, you know, you see that a lot if you're here in the United States and with the medical field. I don't know how it is in a lot of the other countries, but that's something that really has stuck around. So I just figured that would be something to touch on and discuss, you know. So with that, I'm going to continue to read. Now, temples that were dedicated to Asclepius were known as Asclepii, and they were centers of healing. People would visit these temples often to seek cures from illnesses. The healing process involved offerings, sacrifice, and rituals. And the sick would often sleep in the temple, which was known as incubation, just so you guys know, where they believed Asclepius would visit them in their dreams to provide a cure. Now, according to some myths, Asclepius's healing powers were so great that he could even bring the dead back to life, okay? This ability angered Zeus, who feared that Asclepius might upset the natural order, and so Zeus struck him down with a thunderbolt. Asclepius is a symbol of the pursuit of medical knowledge and healing, and his legacy continues in the development of ancient medical, or continued in the development of ancient medical practices. This is something that I also did. I think I did a short piece on that in one of my channels where I was talking about ancient medical practices and a lot of the things that they had actually done. A lot of people don't really understand what people in the ancient world were getting into when it comes to the medical side of things. Like the Egyptians were big on it. I know that the Babylonians played around with it. The Hittites were into the medical stuff as well. Those are a lot of good things that I really do eventually want to get into as well. So, because I don't think that I really dove into it like I really wanted to be honest with you. So, with that, I am going to come back on it and get more into the whole medical aspects of what took place back during the in the ancient world when it comes to the medical side of things. So after that, I want to talk about Zeus Belus. Now, Zeus Belus is another epithet of Zeus, but this form of Zeus is more commonly found in the Phoenician and Babylonian context, where he is associated with the ancient Eastern deity Bel, who is Baal. And if you remember in my previous episodes, I said that Baal was usually considered to be Zeus and and uh, and Marduk. But see, the term Baal is like a generic word. It's used for more than one god, and that's another thing that has to be brought up and mentioned as well. So, like when you hear the word Baal, you're not hearing at most of the time you're not hearing one god. Now, usually when you do hear the word Baal, you're hearing usually the combination of Zeus and Marduk combined with Baal, and that's who a lot of people are referring to. But in this case, they're talking about uh, the combination of the Eastern deity Bel instead of Marduk with Zeus. So you have Zeus Belus, and he's a god of fertility, storms, and agriculture. Now, the connection between Zeus and Belus reflects a syncretism that often occurs between Greek and Eastern religions, where syncretism that often where gods from different pantheons were merged or identified with one another. The epithet Belus reflects a merging of Greek and Near Eastern religious traditions. In the Phoenician tradition, Baal or Bel was a god of storm, rain, and fertility, often associated with agriculture, and prosperity. In some myths, Zeus Belus would embody these attributes as well. The identification of Zeus with Belus likely arose during the Hellenistic period when Greek influence spread through the eastern Mediterranean and into the Near East. Greek gods were often equated with local deities, leading to a blending of religious identities. Zeus Belus may have been particularly associated with the fertility and agricultural aspects of the earth. This form of Zeus shows how Greek religion adapted and absorbed elements from the ancient Near East, blending Zeus, blending Zeus's overarching dominion with the agricultural and the storm-bringing attributes of local gods like Belus. Now, Apollo is one of the most prominent and multifaceted gods in Greek mythology. He is the son of Zeus and the Titaness Leto, and is associated with many domains, including the sun, music, prophecy, healing, archery, and the arts. Although Apollo was not originally the god of the sun in early Greek myth, he became associated with the sun later on. His association is particularly seen in his role as the driver of the chariot of the sun across the sky. Now, Apollo is also known as the god of music, poetry, and the arts. He is often depicted playing a lyre or a lyre, a musical instrument. He is considered the leader of the Muses, the 9 goddesses who inspire creativity in the arts and sciences. Apollo is also the god of prophecy and oracles. His most famous oracle was at Delphi, where the Pythia, a priestess, would deliver prophetic messages from Apollo. This made Apollo a central figure in Greek religion as people from all over Greece sought his guidance. Apollo had healing powers, and his son Asclepius inherited this domain, becoming the god of medicine. Apollo himself could heal, but he could also bring disease, as seen in the myth of the plague of Delphi. Apollo was also a skilled archer, often depicted with a bow and arrows. He was known for using his archery skills to defend the gods or punish mortals, as the myth of the Trojan War, where he helped the Trojans by shooting arrows at the Greek army. Apollo's influence spans many areas of Greek life, from healing and prophecy to music and warfare. His character is often depicted as both serene and wrathful, as he could bring prosperity and harmony, or destruction and punishment, depending on how mortals or gods treated him. Now, Zeus Eretrios is an agricultural aspect of Zeus. He emphasizing his role in ensuring prosperity for crops and the earth's fertility. Asclepius is the god of healing and medicine, whose cult was centered on curing illness and raising the dead. Zeus Belus represents the syncretic merging of Zeus with the Near Eastern god Belus, or Baal, highlighting Zeus's connection to fertility storms and agriculture in the Eastern Mediterranean. Apollo is one of the most versatile and important gods, with domains spanning the sun, music, prophecy, healing, and archery, playing a central role in many Greek myths and religious practices. Now, each of these gods reflects different aspects of divine influence in Greek and Eastern mythologies, from agriculture and healing to the arts and the forces of nature. Now, after that, I am going to go right into Pontus, okay? Now, Pontus is a primordial sea god in Greek mythology, often associated with the vastness of the ocean. He represents the primal sea and is one of the first beings to emerge from chaos alongside Gaia, the earth. Pontus is sometimes considered the personification of the sea itself, though his role in mythology is somewhat limited compared to other gods. Pontus is one of the earliest beings of Greek mythology. According to Hesiod's Theogony, he is the child of Gaia, which is earth, and chaos, though some myths represent him as being born from Gaia alone, or Gaia alone. Now, Pontus is the father of several important sea deities, including Nereus, Perseus, and Sato, and Eurybia. Now, these offspring represent various aspects of the sea, such as its monsters, dangers, and fertility. While Pontus does not play an active role in many myths, he is considered the personification of the sea's primal power and its fertility. His union with Gaia also reflects the deep connection between the earth and the sea in ancient Greek cosmology. Pontus's role in the creation of other sea gods highlights the Greeks' understanding of the sea as both a dangerous and vital force, teeming with life and mysteries. Pontus's figure represents the vast, mysterious, and potentially hostile aspects of the sea. He was revered by sailors and those who lived near the coast, but did not play as central a role in the myths compared to other gods. Now we move on to Typhon. Typhon is one of the most fearsome and chaotic creatures in Greek mythology. He is a monstrous being associated with destruction, storms, and natural disasters. Often described as a challenge to the rule of the Olympian gods, Typhon represents the untamed and destructive force of nature. Typhon is the son of Gaia, which is Earth, and Tartarus, the primordial abyss that represents the deepest part of the underworld. Some myths also suggest that he is the brother of Echidna, the mother of many mythical creatures. And Echidna is spelled Echidna, Echidna, the mother of many mythical creatures. Now, Typhon is often depicted as a gigantic and terrifying creature with serpentine features. In some versions of the myth, he is a hundred dragon heads. No, he has 100 dragon heads, each spewing fire and poison. His body is described as being so large that it stretches across the earth. Typhon's most famous myth involves his battle with Zeus, the king of the gods. After the Titans were defeated, Typhon challenged Zeus for control of the cosmos. The battle was fierce, with Typhon hurling mountains at Zeus and causing earthquakes and storms. Eventually, Zeus defeated Typhon by striking him with his thunderbolts and imprisoning him under Mount Etna in Sicily, where his rage is said to cause volcanic eruptions. Typhon represents the chaotic and destructive forces of nature. His role in the myth emphasizes the constant struggle between order, represented by Zeus and the Olympian gods, and chaos, represented by Typhon and the Titans. Typhon's defeat by Zeus solidified the Olympian gods' rule over the cosmos and symbolized the triumph of order over chaos. Typhon is often seen as a symbol of the dangers and unpredictability of nature. His battle with Zeus underscores the Greek belief in the constant tension between creation and destruction. Now, after that, we go to Nereus. Nereus is another primordial sea god in Greek mythology, often referred to as the Old Man of the Sea. He is a peaceful and benevolent figure compared to other sea deities like Poseidon and Typhon. Nereus is considered the father of the Nereids, a group of 50 sea nymphs who were his daughters. Nereus's most significant role in mythology is as the father of the Nereids, the sea nymphs, who are associated with the calm and peaceful aspects of the sea. The Nereids are often depicted as beautiful young women who aid sailors and help those in need. Some of the most famous Nereids include Thetis, the mother of Achilles, Amphitrite, Poseidon's wife, and Galatea, the lover of the Cyclops Polyphemus. Now, unlike the more chaotic sea gods, Nereus is depicted as a wise and helpful figure. He is often seen as embodying the gentler, more nurturing side of the sea, in contrast to the destructive forces represented by figures like Typhon and Poseidon. Nereus is also known for his shape-shifting abilities, a trait he shares with other primordial deities. He could transform into various forms, which made him an elusive figure. In some myths, Nereus is said to have helped heroes like Hercules by providing them with guidance or gifts. Nereus is sometimes depicted as a wise prophet who can foresee the future. In certain myths, he is consulted by gods or mortals for his knowledge, particularly in relationship to the sea and its dangers. Nereus represents the calm and helpful aspects of the sea in contrast to the more violent and chaotic figures, which, like I said, was Poseidon and Typhon. Now, his connection to the Nereids highlight the ancient Greeks' reverence for the sea's nurturing aspects as well as its dangers. Now, all three figures of Pontus, Typhon, and Nereus are connected to the sea, but each represent different aspects of it. Pontus embodies the primordial and vast sea. Typhon symbolizes the destructive and chaotic forces of nature, while Nereus personifies the calm, wise, and helpful qualities of the sea. Typhon's destructive nature and his battle with Zeus reflect the chaos and unpredictability of the natural world, while Pontus and Nereus are linked to the more ordered, life-sustaining aspects of the sea. Together, these figures illustrate the dual nature of the sea in Greek mythology, both a source of life and a force of destruction. Nereus and Pontus share a common ancestry through Gaia, the earth goddess, and are both connected to the primordial waters. Typhon, on the other hand, is descended from Gaia and Tartarus, linking him to the more chaotic, destructive forces of the cosmos. Pontus represents the primordial sea and the early, life-giving aspects of water in Greek mythology. Typhon is the embodiment of chaos and destruction, representing the terrifying and uncontrollable forces of nature. Nereus is a peaceful and wise sea god, father of the Nereids, and represents the more nurturing side of the sea. So now we come to Sidon. Sidon is an ancient Phoenician city and one of the most important cities in Phoenician history. While Sidon itself is not typically personified as a deity, its cultural and religious significance ties it closely to various gods, particularly those related to the sea and maritime trade. Sidon was a major city-state located in the on the Mediterranean coast, present-day Lebanon. It was a prominent center for trade, craftsmanship, and religious worship in the ancient world. Sidon's role as a port city meant that it was often associated with sea gods and maritime activities. Sidon, like other Phoenician cities, worshipped a variety of gods. While Sidon itself is not a deity, the city had close connections with gods like Malkard, a major Phoenician deity. Then there was Baal, often associated with fertility and storms. And then there was Astarte, the goddess of love and fertility. Now, in some versions of mythology, Sidon is mentioned in relation to Aphrodite, who is also Venus, who is sometimes said to have been born near the city of Sidon. This connects Sidon to the divine realm of the Mediterranean world. Now, Poseidon is one of the 12 Olympian gods in Greek mythology, the god of the sea, earthquakes, and horses. He is one of the most prominent gods in Greek religion and is widely revered for his power over the waters and natural phenomena. Poseidon is often depicted as a mighty, temperamental deity. He is known for his ability to control the seas and oceans, causing storms, calm seas, or earthquakes. He is usually shown wielding a trident, which symbolizes his dominion over water. Poseidon is the son of Kronos and Rhea, making him the brother of Zeus, Hera, Demeter, Hestia, and Hades. When Kronos was overthrown, Poseidon, along with his brothers Zeus and Hades, divided the world into three realms. Zeus took the sky, Poseidon took the sea, and Hades ruled the underworld. Poseidon is not only the god of the sea, but also of earthquakes and horses. In many myths, he is seen as a powerful and volatile figure, capable of creating earthquakes and causing havoc. His relationship with horses is also significant, as he is credited with creating the first horse. Now, Poseidon plays a crucial role in several myths, including the Trojan War, where he supports the Greeks, and his rivalry with Athena over the city of Athens. He is also involved in the myth of Odysseus, where he hinders Odysseus' journey home due to a grudge. Poseidon's domain over the sea and natural disasters make him one of the most powerful and unpredictable gods in Greek mythology. His influence was vast, and sailors often prayed to him for safe voyages. Now, we are going to discuss Malcathras, also known as Melkart. Malcathras, or Melkart, was a major Phoenician god, particularly worshipped in the ancient city of Tyre, near Sidon. Melkart was often associated with kingship, protection, and the cycles of nature, and his worship spread to other Mediterranean regions, including Carthage. Melkart was often considered the protector of the city of Tyre and the embodiment of the king's power. He was closely associated with Phoenician king priests, who was seen as the earthly representation of the god. This association made Melkart central to the political and religious life of the Phoenician city-states. Melkart was linked to hunting, agriculture, and the fertility of land. He was often depicted as a god who protected the land from invaders and ensured its prosperity. In Greek mythology, Melkart was often equated with Hercules or Hercules, the Greek hero and god of strength. Both gods shared similar characteristics, including their association with strength, bravery, and protection. The Phoenicians identified Melkart with Hercules, and some Greek sources described Melkart as a Phoenician version of the hero. The worship of Melkart spread beyond Phoenicia, especially to Carthage, where he was known as Hammon. He was a god of both life and death, associated with resurrection and renewal. The Phoenicians and Carthaginians built temples to him, and his cult played an important role in the religious and political life of these societies. While Sidon, Poseidon, and Malcathras are distinct in their mythologies and cultures, there are some connections between them. And again, in this one, it also brings up the association with resurrection and renewal. So that's another point that has to be brought home. Like the idea of resurrection was not a new idea when it came to Christianity. It was around before then in different cultures. So both Poseidon and Malcathras are sea gods, though Poseidon is more broadly known as the god of the sea and oceans in Greek mythology, while Malcarthurus was a more localized Phoenician deity. The sea was central to both the Greeks and the Phoenicians, as both civilizations relied heavily on maritime trade and exploration. I'm going to have to mute out real quick. I will be right back. Okay, yeah, so we actually are at an hour and a half, so I'm going to end this. I didn't realize I had been going over that, and besides, I have somebody yelling for me right now that I need to actually talk to. So this would be the perfect time to go ahead and end this. I'm checking to see if there is anybody on the chat. Dragus Production uh, did some pretty cool memes there. I don't know exactly what those are. A bunch of weird looking skull faces. D&D. I put down some D&D. Gonna be going there. This is ancient history. This isn't D&D. He still thinks there's like a old uh, Norwegian uh, king that had two battle axes and rode on like a freaking huge boar or something. I told him he's mixing that up with D&D, and he's still in denial. He doesn't want to admit that it's true. So now, other than that, we don't have any more comments. Oh, he put some more down. Dragus Production Fairies. So if you guys have a chance, check him out. He has a lot of good shows. Dragus Production, which is usually Wednesdays and Sundays. He has got censorship. Oh, it's a dwarf king. He said a giant Viking dwarf king. So but he has a Vixen's Vault. He has Jack doing paranormal investigation, and then he has Censorship Sucks, which is on Sunday night. That's tonight. And if you can't watch it on tonight, you can also watch it on Wednesday night, which is before Jack's show, Paranormal Investigation. So there's a lot of good stuff going on there. He's usually on. He's on Kick. He's on Rumble. He's on Twitch, and I don't think he's on YouTube. I'm not sure. I know he's on D Live, so you can check him out on those places as well as having his radio show. Which, I mean, if you want to check him out on the radio show, you can. But I don't have any information when it comes to that stuff. And Willie is supposed to be on Censorship Sucks tonight too. By the way, BitChute, whatever. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying nothing about BitChute. You never say anything about YouTube. I will never mention anything about BitChute. I'm still kind of leery about them because, like, their cryptocurrency payment plans is banned here in the United States, or it was. So I got a little nervous about that when I checked that out. That's kind of weird. But this isn't about that. This is about ancient history. So I'm going to not have that conversation during my ancient history thing. Yeah, Odyssey too. You can find him on Odyssey. He's in chat right now, running his mouth. So, so thank you for showing up and making comments for me, Mark or Dragus Production, and I appreciate that. Now, other than that, check out Beam as well. He's on Beam. I keep forgetting to mention that. He's got his own stream going on through there, which I started using too. It takes a little while to get used to, but I've started using it. That and Rumble Studio. Now, just to let everybody know too, I have started doing pretty good on Rumble Studio. They've actually gone through some changes here recently, and if you guys haven't had a chance to go in and check out Rumble Studios, go in there and give it a try. It's actually turning out to be pretty respectable. That's what I'm streaming off of now. I'm going off of Beam and sharing it onto, or I'm going off of Rumble Studios and sharing it to Beam, and then going out from Rumble to X and D Live, as well as Twitch. No, not Twitch. To D Live and then X, and then on Beam, I'm streaming out from Beam or from Rumble to Beam, and then from Beam it's going into Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. So I'm pretty impressed with that. When I tried it on the OBS, it was wanting way too much frames per second for me to be able to handle. But what I did is I went ahead and just used Rumble Studios so that it could handle the excess RPMs or frames per second, I should say, that my computer couldn't handle. And I remembered that back in the day, they said that get on a platform and stream off of a platform so that you can compensate for it and your computer doesn't have to take up the extra work. And sure enough, this is the first time I did it and it actually started working. So I'm on there too. So just so you guys know, if you're on Beam, check it out. That being said, I think I'm done. Not sure. Oh, no. Yeah. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to end it and say thanks again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and have a good night.